Hello, I want to welcome everyone to the Mentor Monday. Thank you for being here with our Skill Builder course. And we're just answering questions today for those individuals who are going into construction management, want to learn more about what it's going to take to be amazing at their job. So, my name is Cory Fisk. I'm with Construction Management Online. We are a curriculum development company that builds education specific for our construction workforce. So we're just going to jump right into some of the questions that might be coming up for those that are in the construction industry. So the first question that I do get a lot is, what is the difference between a project manager and a construction manager? So, one of the problems that we have in the construction industry is our lack of consistency. So, if you're working for an architect, you are going to have project management and construction management positions that are going to have different roles and responsibilities than that of a project manager or construction manager working for a general contractor, and the same to be said for working for a construction management firm. So, the thing that I'm focusing on in the curriculum when we're talking in discussion of what is the difference between a project manager and a construction manager is that we're going to see a construction manager as someone who is responsible for the management of the construction process. So this is going to be from commencement to completion of physical work that is occurring out on the job site. It may include some pre-construction activities that are happening in order to prepare for everyone getting on the job site, and then some post activities that would be closing out the project. But for the most part, it's about being the facilitator and the manager of the documentation of what's going on during the construction of a project. Now, a project manager is going to be an individual that is taking care of the entire project. This means that it's a person who has more of an overview of what is going on. They may not know the day-to-day details of what's happening in the construction process, but they definitely are being kept up to speed by the construction manager. The project manager is going to be involved in the very beginning of the design phase and participating throughout the 7 C's of the project life cycle in order to be able to keep the project consistent and fluent from start to finish. The other point for a project manager is because they are just really looking at the overview of a project, their likelihood of being able to manage multiple projects is going to be higher. So when we're thinking about a construction manager and then managing the actual physical work, we really want them focused on that one particular project. Obviously, the size of the project is going to make a difference. So you may have a construction manager or a superintendent that's responsible for multiple projects. But for the focus of our construction manager, we want to be able to keep that either on the same kind of work or the construction of a single project. So in review, a project manager is managing the overall project, which could include the conceptual idea and design of the project, all the way through feasibility, pre-construction, construction, and then post-construction and closeout. Whereas a construction manager is going to focus on the preparation of the construction job site, the construction job team, the construction itself, and construction closeout. So hope that answers that question between a project manager and a construction manager. So the next question is why important? So this came up today, and I know that some of you are probably like, oh, that's a silly question. Why is why? Okay. We have been talking about everyone needing to know their why. It drives passion, it drives energy in knowing and understanding where you want to go with your life. And when we have that energy and excitement, then it makes it easy to work. But the kind of why that I want to talk about today is the importance of how we are managing our generational workforce. Now, again, we have over 5 generations of workers that are currently working in our workforce, and we all work a little bit differently. And one of the biggest, I would say, one of the biggest requests from our younger workforce is to not just be told what to do out in the construction, but to be explained and know why they're being asked to do what they're doing. Now, for some of us, this can be a little bit hard because we want you to go do it because it needs to get done. And we have a lot of work on our plate, and we don't have a lot of time to explain to you why it needs to be done. But we know that it does because we've already been there and we've already done that. But the new workforce that's coming in is not as accepting to just moving on and doing something because they were told to do it. I often relate this back to us as parents. So, as parents and as rebel teens, our parents would tell us to do something, and we'd be like, why do we have to do that? Well, in reflection and looking back on our life, there's many things that we see that we could have done differently if we had known why. And so I think that the new way of how the new generations are approaching this makes a lot of sense. That if they know and understand why they're being asked to do something, it's not that they're challenging you, it's not that they're questioning how you're doing it, it's that they want to be part of the process. So, by explaining to them why they're doing what they're doing and what the proposed end result is, it gives them an opportunity to be able to participate in possible solutions to be able to get to that deliverable or that finished vision. Now, sometimes we may not use what they come up with. And other times, I think we just need to practice a little more patience of listening to what they have to offer, because I know that we don't want to reinvent the wheel in construction, but often there are innovative ideas and new things coming out all of the time that are going to be able to elevate our construction industry processes. So, allowing your team to be part of the process by explaining to them why this needs to be done, how you propose to do it, and if they have any input or suggestions of how to move that forward. So, when you're talking about why you need to know the importance of why, I think that it's really important that you let them understand the full picture of why you're moving towards the deliverable that you desire so that they can have input and be a part of the process. So, our last question for today is, how do you develop relationships with your team in a remote world? So, this is a really good question because it is often that we're finding ourselves on more Zoom calls. We're finding ourselves in this remote world, and it is new to us in the construction industry. Not so much in other industries. Other industries have been taking advantage of some of these progressive opportunities and being able to have more productivity and efficiency in their time, taking out drive time, being able to have focused meetings, all on Zoom. The reason why we don't like it in construction, I feel, is because in construction, it's a hard job. So, in order to be motivated and inspired, there needs to be a purpose and a passion about how you go about your business. And that purpose and passion is often fed by being able to enjoy working around the people that you're with. And so I really likened this to my students. I had my students tell me how much they hate learning online. And I said, "What is it that you hate about it?" And they said, "Well, we can't ask questions." I said, "Okay, well, that's not true because you can raise your hands here in the Zoom call. I know who you are. Your name is on the box. You can ask your question and I can answer it." So that's not really the answer. So what else is it? I said, when you're in the classroom, you're in the back row leaning up against the wall, trying not to fall asleep. So you're not asking questions in class. And really, in class, you're almost more embarrassed to ask questions in front of other people than you are on a Zoom call. And so it really got down to us understanding that in the classroom, when we're all there live, we're in a room full of energy of people who love the same thing that we do. They love being in construction. They love talking about construction. They just came from working in construction. So we all have a like mindset and our energy flow is all going in the same direction. And so it makes it very easy to get motivated and to want to feel like you want to be around those people. We don't feel that kind of energy when you're on a remote screen. And so it is very important to be able to have a beautiful face and smile at your audience when you're on your Zoom calls and not have that black square. Nobody wants to be staring at that. If really were looking at it from your point of view, would you want to be talking to the black square? So having the effort to put yourself together and show up for the meeting and be on screen is showing respect to those individuals that are holding those Zoom meetings. It also shows that you're paying attention to what's being said at the meeting. And if the meeting is running long, then you just need to do your part in stepping in and identifying that there needs to be a focus to the conversation so that we can move this meeting along. But recognizing that there are things that we have to do in order to be able to make our remote meetings feel meaningful, because the production and efficiency that we receive in these Zoom meetings is very valuable and is becoming more and more important in the construction industry. So there are things that we can do in order to be able to improve our relationships before we ever get to the Zoom meeting. So often just a quick text or email Monday morning, "Hey, how was your weekend? I hope everything was going good. Let's kill it this week." And then be able to go into the 3 things that you need to work with that person for this week. But then when you have to talk about hard conversations or you have to engage with someone, that you have that soft touch that happened at the beginning of the week that really lets people know that you care about them, that you trust them. And so now you have to talk about something that just blew up on the job site and you need to have this difficult conversation, that you can have that even if it's on a Zoom call. So I hope that some of that is helpful for all of you today. I did want to introduce all of you to something. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to follow construction management online on LinkedIn, but what I wanted to make you aware of is the life of 5 construction management professionals that are going to be sharing their construction experiences. And what I'm hoping that these characters are able to do is align and associate with your path of where you're at with your career. And so being able to either follow along and read the challenges and things that they go through, or the different steps that they take in their educational progress in order to be able to promote and move into a construction management position, is going to be able to help you see a clearer, more accelerated, streamlined path for your own construction management career. So CM Ida is a beautiful Black American woman who is a little bit older, and she is experiencing some challenges with ageism. And so she is trying to break down those walls. Her profession is mostly in design and architecture, whereas CM Andy, she is an individual who is working on coming up through the ranks and moving into a construction management position, feeling a little bit of career mom stuff that gets in the way of her being able to achieve all of the goals that she would like to on a timely basis. CM Charlie, he's had a few hard knocks. He's a little bit rough around the collar, but down deep, he's a big teddy bear. But at the same time, there's a lot of stress and anxiety that hits his life and a lot of demands that he's dealing with. And so working through personal struggles like divorce and trying to stay focused on big projects is where he's at. CM Jordan is a young, strapping man who is just walking into the construction management designation map. And really, he's a field engineer right now, just working his way up the ladder. Doesn't have quite the hands-on experience that he wished that he had in order to be able to move into his construction management role, but he's working on it day by day. And then CM Sally, she is a trades worker who is a grade setter right now, and her goals are to move into construction management. She's not quite there yet, but she's seeing that there's a little bit of education that's going to need to happen in order to be able to elevate her into that construction management position. So I hope that you join Construction Management Online to watch their newsletters. Make sure you subscribe to their newsletters and just learn a little bit more about the challenges that happen on a day-to-day basis. And then the last thing is I also want to remind you to make sure that you leverage AI in your construction management. This is how you're going to gain 10 plus hours a week by having effective production and efficiency using AI as your personal assistant in construction management processes. We do have our skill builder. These are specific tasks, mini courses that you can sign up for in your membership. And so just want to invite you to join us for any of that library of information that you're looking for. Thank you again for coming to our Mentor Mondays. They're at 10 a.m. on Mondays, Pacific Standard Time. And then I wanted to remind you to subscribe to the newsletter, Construction Management Online, and make sure that you check out the YouTube channel. So thank you again, and we will see you next Monday.